you for all the teaching and learning that has taken place in our schools this semester, both in and out of the classroom. And thank you for the talents and gifts that have been shared. Give us insight to lead with integrity so that our decisions may reflect the needs of the students of the Navarro Independent School District. Lord, as we head into the holiday season, please watch over those traveling and provide our families and community with peace and good health. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, announcement that this meeting has been duly called and that the notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Section 551.043 of the Texas Government Code. Those present: Glenn Scheid, Donna Gilliam, Renee Rayfeld, Lacey Gosh, and Dan Reinhardt. First item is public participation.
There is none.
Okay, so moving on with that, I'm actually going to move up the action item, and I'm going to go ahead and canvass the results, and then we'll go into recognitions. So it'll just be easier. So, just read the whole thing. Yes. Okay. So, according to the County of Guadalupe, I, Lisa Hayes, Election Administrator for the County of Guadalupe, do hereby certify the returns for the Navarro ISD General and Special Election held on November 5th, 2024, as shown on the attached official canvas statements as true and correct. It reads: Becky Stevenson, 2,173 votes; Clint Scheid, 2,165 votes; Kyle Hunter, 1,341 votes; Megan Ossinger, 551 votes; Kristen Green, 799; Melissa Sartain, 1,473; Jerry Galini, 1,047; and Kimberly Jones, 816. For the 4-year terms. For the 2-year terms, it was Jacob Coppage with 1,228, Russell Trotty with 264, Joel Frederick with 1,356, and Matthew Reed with 793. So, moving on to recognitions, we're going to recognize the cross-country team first.
Trustees, if you could please make your way to the stage. Navarro ISD is thrilled to recognize the extraordinary achievement of varsity cross-country runners Lilia Flo, Madison Gillum, and Ethan Liu. Following the District 26 4A Championship, the triumphant trio advanced to the Region 4 4A meet on October 21st in Corpus Christi. Ethan had a solid finish, placing 33rd overall. Madison finished 5th, and Lilia placed 12th, qualifying the two ladies for the UIL State Cross Country Championship meet in Round Rock on November 1st. Despite not feeling well, Madison beat her personal record with an impressive time of 12 minutes and 10 seconds, crossing the finish line in 30th place out of 152 runners. And Lilia crossed the line in 71st place with a time of 12 minutes and 44 seconds. Their perseverance has propelled them to this prestigious level of competition. We, of course, must also recognize Coach Magin for propelling our cross-country program to new heights, qualifying the two runners in one season for state, which is a remarkable achievement considering that only one runner from Navarro ISD has advanced in the past 5 years. Please help me congratulate these extraordinary athletes and Coach Magin. Marching Band. The band's performance at the UIL Regional Competition on November 19th was nothing short of exceptional. Their dedication, hard work, and talent earned them a well-deserved sweep of Division I ratings and advancement to the area competition. This accomplishment is a testament not only to the students' commitment, but also the unwavering support of their families, our incredible band boosters members, and the strong foundation set by our outstanding and fun-loving directors, Mr. Parker, Mr. Robledo, Mr. Holdup, Mrs. Parker, and Mrs. Bledsoe. We extend our sincere congratulations to the entire band program for their milestone. I'm going to read the names individually. Not all of them are here, but we'll go through this quickly. So we have Sophia Langford, Adler Quassam, Corbell Quassam, Ramley Weinhagen, Connor Person, Angelique Bautista, Brent X, Judson Buchanan, Madeline Ward, Abraxas Garcia, Caleb Williamson, Aria Bilchinitis, Janie Mares, Lorelei Herod, Samantha Garner, Sophia Marquez, Valerie Smith, Aubrey Gilson, Claire Martinez, Isabella Longoria, Manny Gibbons, Sophia Chen, Chloe Montez, Taylor Manchin, Grace Castillo, Carson Green, Amanda McCarty, Emmanuel Ramirez, Jeremiah Guerrero Ochoa, Payson Camp, Xavier Morales, Zochi Rodriguez, Carter Perry, Hannah DeLeon, McKaylee Cropper, Brooke Brown, Ellis Sebasta, Kaylin Bennett, Ray Aguirre, Peyton Lang, Ava Mazel, Donald Ramos, Madeline Perellis, Gennaro Mendoza, Jace Coldway, Kaylee Henley, Jake Schnauts, Jenna Mason, Aiden Ditch, Joseph Isaac, Justin Loetta, Alex Soto, Sabin Gonzalez, Zachary Fedewa, Xavier Favela, Trinidad Aguirre, Lucas Cantrell, Peyton Person, Sarah Mullen, Ali Tellez, Peyton Shimonsky, Landon Cole, Layla Long, Haley Wyatt, Princess Bustamante, Haley James, Cole Landers, Santiago Rodriguez, Bryce Percher, Jade Spears, Sloan Wakecaster, Evelyn Scott, Gabby Sossenhagen, Savannah Gomez, Vanessa Pettis, Claire Mulvaney, Jose Luna, Josh Canales, Reed Glenn, Jack Gary, and Sophia Castillo.
Great job.
All right, here we go. Keep smiling. Got it. Thank you. Great job. And now we would like to recognize Ms. Renee Rayfield for her service on the Navarro ISD Board of Trustees. It is with deep gratitude and admiration that we recognize the extraordinary service of Mrs. Renee Rayfield to Navarro ISD. For 16 years, from 2008 to 2024, Ms. Rayfield has been an unwavering champion of our students, staff, and community. As president of the Board of Trustees, Renee has witnessed a period of significant growth and transformation within the district. When she started in 2008, there were only 3 campuses and approximately 1,500 students, and we checked that number today. Thanks to her work, it looks much different today. She helped oversee the building of the current high school, the intermediate school, the groundbreaking of the new high school currently under construction, and has seen us grow to 2,800 students and nearly 400 staff. While Renee didn't attend Navarro ISD herself, she married into the community. Her husband's family is a multi-generational Navarro alumni deeply rooted in the district's history. Together, they raised their 2 boys within the district, making her a proud and invested member of the Panther family, in which she has created her own legacy I'm honored to share with you. Renee's leadership has been instrumental in navigating challenges and seizing opportunities. Simply put, she has gone to bat for the students, focusing on what was and always has been best for the future of the district as a whole. Through the hard times, she has been unwavering in her commitment commitment to fairness and transparency, which is evident in her decision-making process. Her ability to remain steadfast in her convictions while fostering positive relationships with community stakeholders is a testament to her visionary leadership qualities. When she first joined the Board of Trustees, it's no secret that Navarro ISD was facing a severe financial crisis, with the threat of a state takeover looming large. Renee and the board got to work and made very tough decisions, including cutting programs and other sacrifices in order to stabilize the district's finances. Being a leader means being bold and selfless and taking actions necessary to move the district forward, which Renee held strongly to even when it meant her own children would not benefit. Through her proven strategies and fiscal responsibility, Navarro ISD has not just emerged from the red, but is now a consistently rated superior district for financial accountability and has built a substantial reserve fund balance. Under Renee's term, she has also worked to pass 3 bond initiatives, enabling the district to modernize facilities, enhance educational programs and resources, prepare for growth, and prioritize safety and security, which Ms. Rayfeld has been a huge proponent of. By having a deep understanding of the needs of our community and a passion for public education, student success has been at the forefront of her service. She is an advocate for all students and all programs. Her work has ensured that our children have access to quality education, exceptional teachers, and a wide range of opportunities to prepare for life beyond graduation. During bond planning, she made it a point that all programs such as performing arts, agriculture sciences, and all campuses would benefit from bond initiatives. Her dedication to excellence and commitment to providing the best possible education for our children leaves an enduring legacy on our district. We are thankful for Renee's sound decision-making, as it has positively impacted the lives of countless students who will become tomorrow's workforce, military members, parents, and Geronimo's leaders of the future. Equally as important as our students, Renee has been a tireless advocate for Navarro teachers and staff. Year after year, she relentlessly pursued raises to achieve competitive salaries, ensuring that our educators were compensated fairly. Even during challenging financial times, she found ways to show appreciation, such as Christmas bonuses. However, her ultimate goal was to secure substantial raises that would directly impact teachers, staff, and their families' long-term financial well-being. A key highlight of her tenure was this year's approval of the 4% raise plus hourly pay increases, which finally elevated Navarro ISD to equal or higher pay as surrounding districts. While we are sad to see Mrs. Rayfeld retire from the Board of Trustees, we are excited to know that she will continue to make a positive impact on our community. Anyone that knows Renee knows she has a passion for animals and professional passion for fundraising board development. In her new role as Vice President of Development and Marketing for the Canine Classmates nonprofit, she will combine both of her passions plus love for education, working to bring therapy dogs to our schools, providing confidence and reading support to students across the area. We look forward to seeing her on our campuses and know that she will continue to be a valuable asset to Navarro ISD. Mrs. Rayfeld, you have undeniably rewritten the story of Navarro ISD. Your unwavering commitment to excellence in public education, your tireless efforts and focus on the future has propelled our district to new heights. From navigating financial crisis to spearheading transformative initiatives, your impact is evident in every corner of this district. As you embark on a new chapter, we extend our sincere gratitude for your invaluable contributions and wish you continued success in your future endeavors. Navarro ISD is the heart of Geronimo because leaders like you keep it beating steady. Please join me in extending our heartfelt thanks to Mrs. Rayfield for her years of service and contributions to Navarro ISD, which will be felt for generations to come.
Customary nameplate and our trophy so she can always be reminded of those years of service. I have to acknowledge that Renee is part of my very first team of 8 and will always hold a place in my heart. She knows that the phone may still be there just for some support, even though she won't have all the details of being a board member. But Renee is a voice of reason, and her heart is always on our kids. And I can tell you that there is no greater life than a life lived in service. And Renee is living a great life and is such an amazing example for others to follow. So thank you, Renee, on a personal note for me, and thank you for your service to Navarro.
We need a picture with your beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
with both or just one?
Just one, I think.
Okay.
Because you're tall. We'll fit in there.
Alright, here we go.
Thank you so much. Enjoy it. You sure can. Come on up, family. Let's take some pictures with you.
Yes.
Yeah, we know where you live. So this is my husband Ross. This is my son Remington, and my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, Fran, and then Rylan is at school. So, yeah, he's at A&M.
Alright, here we go. Thank you.
And I would just like to say thank you so much for the words. I was part of all of that, but in no way was I that. It is totally a team of 8. And so, yes, a lot of stuff was accomplished while I was on the board, but it in no way was just me. So, thank you for letting me serve. Thank you for the community for supporting me. And I wish you guys all the best. You will be in my prayers for sure. Okay. Signing out.
Yes, signing out. The last time, what y'all wouldn't find.
I only brought one bottle of water today. Instead of my 4.
Plenty of seats back here this morning.
Yeah, I said no.
It's dinner.
And I did turn on. Okay, I got it. All right, bye. Good luck.
All right.
Okay, Bruce, up here. Right up here.
All right, we are gonna move to action item, or excuse me, number 7, administration of the oath of office to duly elected members of the Board of Trustees. Okay, I'll read it again. Number 7, administration of the oath of office to duly elected members of the Board of Trustees. If we could have you step forward, please.
You want somebody, do you want somebody first? You want to do it or?
We were gonna do you all
All together, okay.
Yes.
That's great.
Come on up, please. Yeah, move over here. And then we'll have you all sign.
Thank you and welcome and congratulations, and thank you for your service. If you raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas.
I state your name.
I, Clint Scott,
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties
Constitution and laws of the United States
and this state, so help me God.
and this state, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And yours is right here. And then if, for the purposes of, then you can have you guys go ahead and just pick it up and see. Once we reload, we'll move everyone around again. Becky will put you where Donna is for right now. And if you'll grab Renee's little computer, please.
Yes, but you won't have a long, that's the problem. They won't have a long.
You won't have your login until tomorrow.
Right, that's what I'm saying, so the computer.
Yeah. You have, we'll make sure you have an agenda.
You gotta pay attention. You won't lose too much.
All right, we are gonna move into number 8, action item, reorganization of the Board of Trustees. We will start with the election of the president, then vice president, secretary, and assistant secretary. I'm gonna open up nominations from the floor, and they are now in order for the office of the president. Do I hear any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Melissa Sartain as president.
Are there any further nominations for the office of the president? Okay, if there are no further nominations for president, then we will take a vote. All those in favor of Melissa Sartain for the office of president, say aye and raise your hand. 6. Any opposed? The vote passes 6-0 for Melissa Sartain for president. Now, we will open nominations for the office of vice president. Do I hear any nominations?
I nominate Clint Judd.
Are there any further nominations?
I nominate Lacey Goss.
Any other nominations before we close? Would either person like to say a few words before we vote?
I don't really need to, I think I've been here long enough and I have the experience.
Okay.
Any words that you would like before we vote? Okay, so we will do the vote for the first person nominated. So, all in favor of Clint Shive for vice president, raise your hand. 4. All of those opposed? 1. And are you abstaining?
Yes.
Okay. Because it is majority with 6 people, 4 out of 6 people, then we will not proceed to vote for the second nomination. So, Clint Shive is, excuse me, I have it scripted out here. So Clint Shive has won the nomination for vice president with a vote of 4-1 with 1 abstaining. Okay, we will open nominations now for the office of secretary. Do I hear any nominations for secretary?
I'd like to nominate Donna Gillum for secretary.
Are there any further nominations for secretary? If not, then the nominations for nominations of the Assistant Secretary. Do I have any nominations for this office?
I would like to nominate Dan Reinhardt for Assistant Secretary.
Are there any further nominations for Assistant Secretary? If not, the nominations are closed. All those in favor of Dan Reinhardt for Assistant Secretary, raise your hand. All those opposed? The vote passes 6-0. With that, I have the pleasure of turning over this meeting to the newly elected Vice President.
A little bit of musical chairs tonight.
I believe the next item on the agenda was high school construction bond 2021 and 2024 update. Melissa.
Good evening, Mr. President, Mrs. Epley, members of the board. I'm here again this month to show you some fantastic pictures on our construction progress. So we'll jump right in. The exterior of the building, this is the two-story classroom portion. You can see most of the masonry veneer on the first floor is pretty much complete. The scaffolding set up there, I'm gonna get ready to start doing the EFS. The fantastic purple insulation board that you see is not your final finish. This is the admin wing of the building. Masonry work has shifted to this portion of the building now. They're making their way all the way around, just as we did with our concrete pours and construction. Everything is getting phased around to the, starting at the classroom where the most details there, around to the gyms. Most all the glass and storefront is in. We have temporary doors coming in for now. Plywood is securing the building. Data cabling, fire alarm cabling is going in. This is all again in the construction classroom wing of the building. Finishes are starting to ramp up. We have first coat texture primer going on to many of the walls in the classrooms. Ceramic tile in the restrooms. Second floor is in various stages, still has ongoing above ceiling work. Most all the walls have the joints tape and floated. This is just another angle. This is out near the open area. In the admin area of the building, again, various stages. We have sheetrock, some walls closing, has the insulation. Sheetrock going up, still above ceiling work. And the main common area space, pretty much the center of your school. To the left would be the front of the competition gym. To the right is going out to the front parking lot. This has also become a material storage area. You can see the sheetrock there. This is just another picture of that common area taken from the second floor looking down. All that first floor is going to be storefront exit doors, but all the glass on the second floor is in. Moving around to the cafeteria. The kitchen is in the back. I didn't have any updated pictures. this month, cause they're still framing and wiring, but here the cafeteria looks pretty impressive, cause there's a lot of framing going on, a lot of above ceiling work happening here. The auditorium, the dance floor scaffolding is fully complete, and they've begun work up there accessing all the above ceiling work in the auditorium. Starting the above ceiling work in the auditorium, I should say. These next few slides are the this is dance cheer. We're gonna go into band and CTE. You're not gonna see much more difference. There's a lot of masonry stonework here, so this is just a picture of the dance cheer studio. There's restrooms happening kind of to the left. Band hall from the back corner, so to your left there are all the practice rooms, and the far of the picture will be the uniform storage, instrument storage, band office. The picture to the right there is just another angle from the other side of the wall that you're looking at, where we have to close up some walls with restrooms. CTE, same, a lot of masonry work in those areas, so there's some above ceiling work happening in these areas as well. This would be like one of the ag science rooms. Looking out to the welding shop. The welding shop's on your right, sorry, light. So that would just be looking out to the lab for the ag plant science. Practice gym and weight room. To the left is the weight room, to the right is the practice gym. Again, lots of masonry work happening here, lots of big walls. Also the roof decking going on. This is the competition gym. All the bleacher structural steel is in. They're working on the far masonry walls, trying to get those walls buttoned up, working on getting the decking in. Then of course the electrical miscellaneous overhead that can be done is getting accessed now as well. Ag barn, you can see this from the street pretty well. This is the back side of the ag barn. We'll have overhead doors, so most all the structural steel is up, roof insulation, roofing going on this angle from the other side of the building. This will be where the cattle pens will be installed. Just some looks at the roof. To the left, that's the roof on the practice gym. Again, getting roof decking, getting the roof curbs in order. To the right, there's just skylights that are over the main common area, kind of the heart of the school. As far as site work, it's pretty impressive to see. Most all the parking lots are done. Aside from the rain today, they're beginning to make their way for that main entry towards 123. But to the left is your student parking lot. To the right, and the far of the picture will be the staff and visitors. Then we have some drives to finish on the back side of the school. You can kind of see in the bottom left-hand corner that drive has started, but that'll be your bus drive. There'll be additional parking in the back of the school there. So last month's picture to this month, really the difference that you can see is the roofing. So I didn't put the October picture, but you can see how the roofing is complete. So that's your classroom portion on your right, coming around to that little bump out, that's the admin. Then of course going through the center, common area to your cafeteria kitchen, to CTE in the upper left, and then in the back there are still the gyms. So as far as updates on the traffic signal, we got all the final approvals for the work that we're gonna do at 123. We don't have to do all the high dollar diamond plate, steel, blah, blah, blahs. We have drainage inserts, we move sidewalks off to help with that situation. There were some exclusions on the proposal for that I have questions on, so I'm waiting for those answers to come back. As far as FF&E procurement, we have a good breakdown of all the furniture. I'm going through and auditing to each classroom so we can just kind of verify we have enough desks, not enough desks, tables, whatever else needs to go in there. At Link Huber intersection, we have all the geo reports in. Claycomb is working on a schematic design, a final schematic design based on the geo reports. The survey missed the right of way for the neighbors there on Lake Huber, so that should be done. Anyways, the game plan from here on out is to meet with the county because they have a long-term thoroughfare plan with Link Road, show the impacts. The county is very, torn between the work that's gonna have to happen. So do we inconvenience everybody at once with their long-term goal is kind of the page that we're all trying to get on together, to move forward with that. So as far as high school, are there any questions?
Do we have a timeline for the start of the intersection on 123?
For the traffic, not yet, because some of the exclusions were barricades, were, tech stop, traffic planning, and so I questioned that, and I said, get all that in order, because I don't wanna come with a change order. We have we have an allowance set aside, and it's within that allowance, and I don't want it to exceed that allowance without having pre-planned our plan of attack, so, no. As far as 2024 bond update, this is keeping everybody's wheels spinning. They're all in various stages of design and programming. So athletic complex, elementary school, right now are our main focus. We're working on getting designs and budget. Primary, intermediate parking, playground, they're finalizing, they are getting back their geotech reports to see exactly what needs to go where. Chiller replacement, we had structural engineers go out to the school last week. They're pricing out the equipment and things of that nature. As far as the refresh projects, we have some more scope digging to do to figure out how we can use the dollars best to achieve all the goals. But the goal, at least for the big ones, the athletic and the elementary and likely the parking and playground, is when we get those in within budget, bring them to y'all ideally December, January timeline, so we can get those kicking off. Any questions on those? As always, I'm available. If you all at any time have a question or want to come to the site, just let me know and we can work something out. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 10, discussions versus portables.
Good afternoon. I bring to you the portable plan for 2025 this afternoon. We're going to start with the demographics here. This, if I can get this to work. Keep in mind, this is last year's demographics report. I know later on we're going to go over this year's recent demographics, but when we put this together, this is the information that we based everything off of. This is our 10-year forecast by campus. I pretty much have this here for reference to see that, you can see that where every campus is going to be capped at. As you can see, the elementary at 25, intermediate at 25, junior high we're looking at 26, and as you know, the current high school right now, we are busting at the seams. This is by grade level. Again, this is just for reference. When we use this information when we're doing a grade shift to figure out how we're going to configure the new capacities. This slide here is our current enrollment projections with our current capacities on the left, and on the right will be our current enrollment projections with the new capacities. As you can see, the difference between these two, one is you'll see the elementary 1 and 2 on the right side. You'll also see that if we add those new portables, it'll change the capacities to our intermediate campus. On the left side, you'll see that we'll be at capacity at the 25-26 year, and that is the reason for purchasing these portables that we have here. All this is being guided by I call it the guiding light. It's our 10-year master plan. We look at this, I look at this, we reference it periodically, all the time for myself at least. As you can see at the bottom, this is our fall 2025 plan. We're getting a head start on it, obviously, because it takes some time to plan for these portables to be here. These are the portables themselves. So it's 6 wet classrooms with about 6,100 total square feet. It'll have 2 main points of entries, and each classroom will have its own bathroom in there. I got together with the principals We kicked around a couple of ideas of having its own bathroom, room, if you will, and this is the preferred choice of having each class having their own individual bathrooms. The proposed site, I'm sorry, this is not right. I think I skipped this slide. No, it's missing a slide. So the proposed site for right now for fall 2025 is here at the intermediate. So if you look at the arrow, go backwards, that's where the location will be. I apologize, it's missing a slide here. So this will be for fall 2025. This is only good for 2 years. After that, we'll switch over. We'll have the elementary campus. We'll offload the second grade, and we won't need the portables anymore. That doesn't mean we won't need these new portables altogether. We're going to move them over to the elementary campus and replace our 6 classrooms that are outdated, which are the 4 that you see off to your right. Well, you can't see the start right now. The ones we purchased about 2 years ago. The old ones, they're probably 35 years old. I joke around saying that I, in my first grade year, went to school in those portables. So they're dated. And the idea is to replace the front 2 portables as well, which is a total of 6. Any questions about the proposed portable plan that we have here?
Have we already looked into utility access? We have everything there already?
Yes, we have the utilities, we have the plumbing, we have the electrical. I've got some budgetary numbers for all those items. Looking into ramps, security systems, PA systems, cameras, technology. We have all those numbers, early numbers, yes.
Do we do that ourselves, or we subcontract that?
We subcontract that out. We don't have the manpower to do
Yeah.
any of this.
So do we go out for quotes? Do we have an idea of how much that's gonna run us?
So what I do is I typically get with our vendor that we have right now, like, hey, like this is what we're looking at, can you give us an idea? From there, we'll go ahead and get a couple of quotes from different vendors. Yes, sir.
So like current vendors that are set up as suppliers through the district already?
Correct.
Not through like a general contractor?
No, so we'll go through our vendors that we have right now. And if it's a big scope, we'll either put out an RFQ for something that's larger, so we can get some more bites on from bigger companies.
Do you think this will cover until we get the new elementary built? Or do you think you're gonna be coming back to us with some additional portable?
No, this will cover us until 27 year.
Okay.
And this is coming out of bond funds?
Correct. Any other questions?
I'm just processing, I'm new, so I'm gonna ask lots of questions.
Sure, no worries.
Just processing how we purchase a portable, not knowing our total scope costs.
Well, we get the idea, or we get the portable pricing. If it is approved, then we start getting some hard numbers after that.
Yeah.
So I have soft numbers of, hey.
So you have soft numbers of the plumbing and the electrical?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir, I have all those numbers.
Do we
ready.
have any idea? I saw on the online agenda what that number is. Do we have an idea of what those other numbers are?
So you're looking with your technology, with your ramps, sidewalks, electrical, total of $380,000. That's for your 150 Chromebook devices, your 6 teacher devices, your panels, your running fiber, your switches, your furniture, your desk, electrical, PA systems, fire systems, ramps, sidewalks.
And where, just because it's in my wheelhouse, where is we running the sewer line to out there?
We do have some drainage here. The sewer line's right behind us, so we'll be running it right behind, kind of close to where we're at right now. So there is sewer lines back there that we can run off of.
And board, I would tell you that we are certainly trying to look at options that are long-term. Nobody likes portables unless you do have a teacher that likes that private learning village where they control their AC. But truly, we would love to have everybody in the building. So one of the things we enjoyed about this plan is that we were able to not only invest in making sure we were able to handle the overflow until the elementary is built, but also that it wouldn't be a 2-year finite purchase, and then we're trying to figure out what to do with these empty portables. We knew we could take this, and because of the conversations we had with both principals, how can we maximize that initial purchase so that it's then a usable space as we move to early childhood, where you would want those bathrooms within each of those classrooms. And so we think it's a fairly smart plan and fiscally responsible as we make these transitions. Certainly, as we look at the long-range plan, that's something we're constantly revisiting with our facilities committee. We'll see some new numbers from Mr. Templeton tonight, and that's why we continuously go back and look at, have the demographics changed? Is our construction timeline still what we predicted it to be? If we're looking at future bonds, does it make the cut in the needs that we have? I think this is a smart purchase overall for us, as it does serve the district's needs in a couple of capacities.
And can I say one thing, just as a reminder for the new members? Because we changed one of our policies recently, but if any of those items that we start adding, like the technology or equipment, any of those items go over $50,000, we're going to be coming to the board for y'all's approval. Okay? So, and you may see some of those items individually as we move forward, because again, we went with soft numbers. Those numbers, when they start coming in hard, if they're above $50,000, you will see it on the agenda. And the technology probably won't come in over $50,000 just by itself. Probably as well.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll move to 10B, the LASSO grant cycle 3 application.
Good evening, President Shire, members of the board, our new members. We're going to call you President, so you're sitting in that seat. Superintendent Epley. I have the honor of talking about LASSO Cycle Grant 3. There is $160 million available at the state level for districts to apply for Cycle 3. So I'll talk a little bit about what the LASSO grant is and give you some information and let you ask questions as well. So LASSO stands for Learning Acceleration Support Opportunities, and it has 5 specific focused learning acceleration strategies. This grant is focusing on 3 specific ones: curriculum and instruction, more time, and innovative schools model. We are currently in an innovative schools model. We did a Texas Learning Lab. TEA came out to see some of the things that are happening in our district with our professional learning communities, and also with our curriculum, our high quality instructional materials that our teachers are working with, K through 8 for ELA and 6 through 12 for mathematics. We have an opportunity. Texas is creating a new State Board of Education approved math product, curriculum product, and they're calling it Bluebonnet Math. So we have the opportunity through this grant to begin looking at those materials through funding that would come from the grant. So as we apply, it opened the timeline. I'll move quickly here. Sorry. Opened on October the 14th, and my team went to the Region Service Center to learn a little bit more about what Cycle 3 was going to entail. We have until December the 13th at 5 o'clock p.m. to apply for these funds. One of the things I'm particularly excited about is there is a technology lending grant included in this opportunity. So we would be able to get additional devices and presentation materials for teachers outside of our technology plan that could support our smaller classrooms. So we're thinking about intervention classrooms. We're thinking about students in small tutoring groups. So we would have the opportunity to use the money there to purchase equipment for those classrooms. It also provides, for students who don't have access at home, it provides devices and potential internet access through hotspots for them to access these curriculum materials outside of school as well. Also have opportunities for students when they're on homebound services and they're not able to be in the classroom to receive device support. So Jason and I have been looking at some of those opportunities as we apply. So we are applying for Strong Foundations Planning. This is where our service provider, which currently is Region 20, comes in and sits with teachers and talks with them about instruction. We talk about what RBs are, research-based instructional strategies, and they attend our PLC meetings with our teachers and really dive into our state curriculum and help our teachers, instead of just finding resources, we now have resources, they're actually helping them them to internalize the lessons. So the teachers are going through the process of, what will this look like in my classroom? How will I teach this? What questions will I ask? What will an assessment look like as a follow-up? So that's part of the Strong Foundations planning that we are currently already in. This would be an extension of services. Our other piece is our instructional frameworks. This is where we work with the teachers and the campus administrators about our vision. What is our vision for curriculum and instruction? What are our belief statements about students? What are the actions that we are taking with all stakeholders, not just with our students? What are actions that we as teachers need to be taking? What are actions as leaders? What are actions as families? In each of our instructional frameworks, we have to include each of these stakeholders and their belief systems, their vision, and their goals for curriculum instruction. So we have those already in development stages for both math and for ELA. We would extend these as we work more with our secondary campuses. We're currently attending PLCs at the high school, working with our math and ELA team specifically. I've been working with the science team doing similar things outside of the grant just to emulate some of the good practices that are already happening in our math and ELA side. Where did this all come from? Well, the Strong Foundations came about, Commissioner Maraftis spoke about this at our Texas Assessment Conference. They're looking at our declining scores after COVID. Now, I understand that there have been decline in scores, but we're also looking at a very different educational model now than we had before COVID. So I am seeing, through the work that we're doing, the trajectory of our data is climbing. I'm very excited. It's just having conversations at our checkpoints with our campus principals about our 90-60-30 model, and I'm happy to report that many of our classrooms are hitting that target already in November. So in science, that's happening as well. We were just celebrating some exciting science scores, but again, we're focusing on math and ELA at this point, both of which are making considerable gains with data. This is state numbers, these are not Navarro numbers, but this is why they are doing these grants. They are trying to target campuses to implement Strong Foundations instruction. So we talk a lot about HQIM, that's a buzzword in our state, high quality instructional materials. And Dr. Kaufman asked a good question the other day in one of our checkpoints, what makes it a high quality instructional material? Well, we have to look at many things. First of all, is it aligned with our state standards? Does it fully encapsulate our TEKS, our Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills? We also have to look at the rigor level. Are the questions that are being asked in the materials at a surface level, or are they overarching, full, deep understanding that students can articulate with vocabulary? I was in a 6th grade classroom the other day and I was amazed at the vocabulary that they were using to write a constructive response. I was having trouble reading their passage just in common time, and it was impressive, and that is a result of some of the work that we're doing. So again, we're moving from designing instructional materials. Teachers don't have to design instructional materials and lessons anymore, to internalizing. They already have those things provided for them. Now they're internalizing the lesson and looking at how they're going to deliver instruction instead of what do I need to deliver instruction. So again, we are looking at Strong Foundations implementation in both ELAR and math. And if we receive the funding, I'm going to make sure that we continue with a lot of the things we already have in place. But one of the things that we have to continually monitor very closely is our data. So I don't have my glasses on to read that to you, so I'm going to pull up my slide. So the national study found that of 180 classroom hours during the school year, students spent 133 hours on assignments that were not grade appropriate. That is a problem. Students need to be exposed to grade level content. Even students who may be 1 or 2 years behind in their learning skills, they still need to be exposed to high level learning. So 47 hours on assignments that were grade level appropriate is all that they, as they did the survey, is all that they saw in both math and ELA. So students made significant gains with access to better assignments. We look at all students made an effort of 1.7% gain, but when they had high quality instructional materials, there was more than a 7% gain for student performance. We've already exceeded our 5%, which was our goal in many of our classrooms, a 5% gain in all areas for our students in economically disadvantaged situations, for our students in emergent bilingual, our students who are second language learners. We are already seeing these gains. Special education is another area. We've partner in the back office, and we've been celebrating some of the things that we've seen in our special education program. So I just want to make sure that as we make these decisions, that the board is well informed about why we are wanting to pursue cycle 3. We've done cycle 2 this last year. It's awarded us money to afford 2 instructional coaches, high quality instructional materials. It's also given us opportunities for working with the Region Service Center to do PLC development, framework development, and the teachers will have the opportunity to work in professional development that's customized for them throughout this school year, throughout the summer, and throughout next school year. In addition, we would have the opportunity to apply for the technology funds, and that's really going to be what we ask for. We may get all that we ask for, we may get a portion of what we ask for, but I have confidence that we have a case for the need for some of those technology equipment pieces as well. So we're considering applying for LASA 3 planning, which would be for math 6th grade through algebra, which we currently are already doing. It would just be extending what we already have. We are looking at exploring, as Dr. Gosh, we talked about this earlier, the Eureka Math product for K through 5. We're also looking at the Bluebonnet Learning product that the State Board of Education is likely to adopt. So that would be K through 5. And then the LASA 3 implementation, continuation of some of the Part E strategies that we've already got in place, and working with the secondary teachers. It's a very challenging curriculum, and we've got some kinks that we're sorting out, but the teachers have been very, very good with giving feedback. We have a specialist that works with us, and for the next 6 weeks, she'll be here every week, sitting down with the teachers 2 by 2. She sits with the algebra teachers, the geometry teachers, and just talks with them about their curriculum and instruction, talks with them about their assessments, are they commonly aligned, and then we're looking at student data pretty carefully to see how our students are performing and what gains they've made, or possibly what gaps they still have. Questions? A lot of information.
So the original LASSO grant that you applied for covered coaches and all of those pieces. This is basically an extension of what we've already done, but this is literally for just the instructional materials and then the opportunity to apply for the technology funds. Is that correct?
Correct. So it will.
So this will not go to salaries. This will go straight to. It will continue the salaries as well.
For the instructional coaches, yes. It will continue those for 1 more year through the LASSO grant, unless they come up with LASSO Cycle 4, which is very probable. So LASSO Cycle 3 would allow us to sustain our instructional coaches, both positions, through the funding of this grant because of the initiatives.
So in my extensive training the other day, I was told that one of the goals was not to have a grant pay for salaries. What's the plan if there is no forward?
So this is something we've been working on for quite some time. Instructional coaches were new to our district.
Yeah.
We didn't have that prior to this time. It's not new to school districts, it's just new to our district. So our goal is to look at available sources in state comp ed monies and available sources in Title I. We had just recently qualified 2 additional campuses as school-wide programs. And with school-wide programs comes funding. It's possible that after next year's demographic information is calculated, we could be a Title I district, which would bring federal funds to our district. So that's a lot of the work that I do, Mr. Frederick, is looking at funding opportunities, and I would hope that federal funds would be able to sustain the positions moving forward.
Somebody's just very clear about that.
She was, yes. We talk often. I meet with Mandy every Monday. I have my Monday morning meeting. Today was Monday afternoon, and we talk very specifically about these things. I am a steward of good funding, and if I can save the district money in any way, I'm absolutely about that. So I've been, I think, very careful with how we've spent some of our instructional money.
I think it is important that you realize grants are vehicles to launch a program or launch a staffing support. But as a district, some districts, just rely on that. And then when it goes away, there's an awkward space where we've invested in people, we've invested in product, but there's no funding to sustain it. And that's not a responsible way to utilize grants. So our team understands that if we're going to apply for a grant, we are looking holistically about, we believe in this as a systemic approach to improving instruction and supporting teachers, and that's the direction we're gonna go. This grant money helps us to kick it off, maybe sustain it for as long as that grant goes, but we always have to be considering if it ends, or if we don't get that cycle, how are we sustaining it? What is the alternative plan? Are instructional coaches going back to the classroom? Or are we saying, no, we looked at our data, our kids had significant improvement, our teachers saw a comrade, a source to be able to bounce ideas about improving instruction, and therefore we need to maintain that. And so we're gonna look at how we assign our staff. I will say that because LASA was adopted before I got here, you know, I was curious about how it was going to work. As we have met with other districts and certainly at the region level, there's a lot of envy for those of us who did receive the LASA grant. Several school districts applied for it and did not receive it. And as we see that trend of TEA adopting these materials and then having the State Board of Ed bless those materials and say, you know, if it's on the TEA bookcase, you can look at it, but you really can't get it and use funds for it until it's approved by the State Board of Ed. We're ahead of that game because these materials are the forerunners of what the State Board of Ed is approving. So ultimately, like I said, there's a bit of envy. In fact, I'm thinking of one superintendent who every time we talk about LASA says, I didn't get any of that money, Navarro got all of it. And there's a lot of envy in that respect that we were able to kickstart that because it is very expensive to adopt these new materials. And they're consumables, so each year you're investing in them because the students will write in the books and then we need the new books. Truly, I think it is a great opportunity for us, but as Mr. Newhoff will tell you, certainly as Ms. McMullen will tell you, I don't want to talk about bringing something in because it's a flavor of the month or because we might be able to get some money. It's truly about, do we believe in this as a strategy? We think it's good. We believe we want to sustain it, and if the funds are there to support that kickoff and sustaining, we definitely want to pursue it.
And we've been honored that the education agency has been here, obviously looking at what we're doing with our teachers and our classrooms with our students. And because we've seen such progress, we were just asked today, right before I came over, to speak at the Rural Schools Conference, which I'm nervous in front of people, so I'm like, oh my goodness, another one. But I think it's because of what we're doing and that we're all invested. You know, I'm in the PLCs with the teachers, I'm in the classroom with the teachers, I'm hearing their feedback, I'm giving it to the education agency. They don't like this, they don't like this, they don't like that. So teachers have voice to complain, and it is going directly to the state level, and they've made changes as a result. So I was telling some of our team that this is kind of like a storm with the instructional materials in the state right now. We're at the front of it. We boarded our house, we're ready to go. We're already working out the problems and on our way on a successful trip. People behind us that haven't already started looking at these things are at this point starting to go, oh, I should have done this, I should have already seen this, I should have thought of this, because I feel like it's the mindset of our state and where they're going. So I've learned a lot, our team has learned a lot, our teachers have learned a lot. Has it been an easy journey? No. Have we struggled with new materials? Yes. That's true with all new curriculum. We have a new science curriculum as well that was adopted, and we went through a lot of perils to find the right science curriculum, and it's been challenging, but the teachers do have a voice, and our instructional coaches have been instrumental in keeping us aligned from campus to campus, from classroom to central office. So it's very beneficial. It's a symbiotic relationship. I really see some gains in many areas, but particularly with our students. That's where it matters the most.
You mentioned one thing about, so certain components of this are a continuation of what's already happening, and then there are aspects that are new
Yes.
that would be implemented during this school year.
So if we are selected and awarded the funds, the teachers will begin seeing those new opportunities with new curriculum. So So my goal has always been in January to bring those to the table for our K-5 math teachers. They've been asking, they've heard, teachers talk, and they wanna see these products. So the best way to do that is through the grants. They can have an opportunity in the spring semester to work with them, see if they're pliable, see what they like about it, see what they don't like about it. One of the other things that the grant has brought to us is a supplemental curriculum for math, which is our AgSell program, which they use extensively outside of the classroom. So that would be a continuation that the teachers would be excited about because they do like that product. You know, learning a new math curriculum when they've had one for 10 years, our Go Math program, it's a good product, but we've had it a long time, and I think that it's outlived its shelf life. It's an opportunity for us to dive into something that is said, we haven't seen it officially, but said to be a impactful curriculum. So we want to unpack it from January to May and see what we think about it. So this grant, that's one of the new initiatives that grant allows us to do.
New also, but is that kind of transition halfway through the school year? How do the kids usually do with that?
Well, we wouldn't change what the kids are doing. This is just for the teachers.
Okay.
The students wouldn't see a change in curriculum until next fall. So that's when we would implement the new curriculum if we decide that that's the diving board we want to jump off of. Right now, it's exploratory. It's planning, looking what implementation would look like, training of the products. These are the resources that you would have as a teacher. This is what it would look like in PLCs to work with these products. And so it's just a matter of unpacking it is what I always say to the teachers. We're going to unpack it this semester, see what it's about in the spring semester, and decide if it's for us.
So the teachers are going to be unpacking the new, but still teaching the old.
Correct. So in small increments, because I know how teachers are. Testing season, the spring is difficult. So we have some professional development days set up already, and then we would do summertime as well. Summer academies is what we call them. But yes, I hear your point.
So Ms. McMullen, I want to clarify just to make sure everybody's, so this spring is actually proclamation for the K through 12 math products, which
Yes.
would include all of these math products. So the adoption of that for the state is not dependent upon the LASSO grant funds. We would receive IMA funds on top of that and could essentially select these curriculum materials. The issue with the grant is that it will provide us with additional funding to use the other funds. So every district will be doing exactly what Ms. McMullen is talking about. They will just be doing it whether they are a LASSO school or not. So I just want to make sure everybody is clear that we're not adopting or trying to adopt a math curriculum that is any different from any other school in the state of Texas based on the proclamation.
Right.
This is an opportunity for us to get different funding so that we can use our instructional materials allotment from the state for something other than math. So, you don't want to kick a gift horse in the mouth if
That's
it's
right.
going to give it to you for the LASSO grant. The only ask I would have, and the only reason I also want to bring this up, the only ask I would have is that, typically they do want to continue because we've been in the program. So I think our chances of getting the funds are very good. I would want to see when we start budget planning for next year to go ahead and budget for those positions, because at some point the state, you never know when they decide either not to fund and or to just stop that. And so if we're going to go for it again, knowing it may pay for those, that's great, that's extra money, but we really need to see that put into the budget.
Then I can put that together, and I agree with you. The more that we can look down the road at the sustainability of our programs, the better. So I think that becoming title as a district is going to be one way to help. Paul and I are trying to figure out how much money that might mean. We've been talking about that a little bit. I wouldn't say a little bit, a lot. But looking at sustainability is something that is at the foremost of our planning.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to reports. We're going to have a little change. We're going to move item D up to the top and move on with our demographic report.
Good evening, Board, Vice President, members of the Board, Dr. Epley. It is my pleasure to be with you tonight. This is our fall demographic report, and I'll start by just touching on the enrollment picture for this year. The top table is the enrollment history. That gold bar across there is the 24-25 enrollment. That was enrollment from a couple of weeks ago, and we were right on the projection. The numbers across the middle there that are kind of in that faint pink color, that's what we forecasted for this fall. So we actually forecasted 2,697. We came in right on that number. And then we've got the differences by grade level, how that enrollment compared to the projections. What you'll notice is the elementary grade levels came in a little bit under the forecast. The middle school grade levels came in a little above the forecast. And the high school numbers came in a little bit below the forecast. So it was a little low at elementary, up at middle, down just a tad at the high school grade levels. And then the bottom table is the cohort change. That just shows you how much you're growing per grade level. So you can see very strong grade level growth. That 1.146 at kindergarten means basically we grew about 15% at kindergarten this year. The first grade grew almost 19%. Second grade grew about 12%. So you get the picture, you know, very strong grade level growth all across the majority of the grade levels. Now, you'll notice that 10th, 11th, and 12th, those numbers are below 1. We see that at every high school across of the state that we work with. So that's not specific to Navarro ISD. Some of that is just some retention that happens or not getting enough credits. I don't want to call it retention. It's about credits. And so it's more a credit issue that causes that 9th grade number to pin up just a little bit. And then there's also some early graduations that happened at 12th grade that will also play into that. But those high school cohort patterns are very normal for what we see for just about all high schools in Texas. Now, when we look at the economic conditions, we like to use the unemployment rate as kind of a gauge for how the economy is doing. And you can see the unemployment rates have stayed in that 4% range. In fact, Guadalupe County's unemployment rate is below the state's rate. So you can see it's staying in that 4% range. And when you're in that 4% range, you're basically fully employed. You've got just about everybody working that truly wants to be working. It can be a little bit of a challenge to fill positions when that unemployment rate is in that 4% range. We are still seeing job growth in the San Antonio region. San Antonio region's also one of the fastest growing regions in the country. Texas has 4 of the fastest growing regions in the country. Of course, Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio has actually jumped up above Austin in terms of its growth. So very strong growth continues to come to the San Antonio region. And when we look at the housing picture, this is the graph of annualized starts and annualized new home closings in the San Antonio region. You can see the huge acceleration that happened in the 2020 in the second quarter. And then the Fed started raising the interest rates, and that raising of the interest rates caused that purple line, the start rate, to really dramatically drop. Now, the good news is when we look at the last 2 quarters, starts and closings have gotten really close together. So we're starting to see a more healthy construction, healthier new home market because the starts and closings lining back up. Don't have as many problems with supply chain challenges. Labor's getting worked out a little bit better, but overall construction times in new home construction have improved. Now, when we look at total home sales for the San Antonio region, this is total home sales by month, and it looks at the last 2.5 years. We like to show the average price for home sales in the San Antonio region. We've actually seen the average price go down just a little bit. So there's been a little bit of softening in the average price, a little bit of a softening in the median price. We've seen an uptick in the number of listings, and the increase in listings can help with supply. And so when you have a little bit more supply, that can also help soften the pricing. Now, why do we want the prices to soften? We need it to be a little more affordable for younger families. It's still a little bit of a challenge for younger families because the interest rate is still relatively high. Even though we've seen a couple of rate reductions, it really hasn't softened much yet. We are hopeful that it could start to soften a little more in the first quarter of 2025. We could see even another rate reduction. Ideally, builders and lenders need that rate to get down into that 5% range instead of being above 6. So it's still above 6 right now. Now, when we look at where Navarro ranks in the San Antonio region based on annualized closings, so we have this data for all of the school districts in the region. Northside is building the most single-family homes, but they're not seeing enrollment growth as it relates to their housing. They have pockets of growth within the district, but overall, their enrollment is declining because of charters that are expanding in the region, because of certain areas of the district that are aging and getting older. But the Comal School District, your neighbor to the west, is seeing pretty strong enrollment growth. And so they're building about 2,700 homes, single-family homes per year. They've got about 4,000 vacant developed lots, 19,000 futures. They'll continue to see good growth. But Navarro is in that 8th spot. We had 834 as our annualized starts for single-family homes, about 817 closings. That's good. It's very close together. We've got about 483 homes in inventory. These are new homes that are either under construction or finished vacant. So we do have some finished vacant inventory out there that the builders will be working to get closed as quickly as possible. We've got about 1,256 vacant developed lots and over 6,000 future lots. Future lots are concept plans. They are future phases of existing developments. These are developments that we do have some insight in, either from interviews with the builders, developers, or information that we're getting from the cities or the county. And we track it every quarter. You can see that in 2024, our start rate for the 3 quarters is right at 635. I suspect we will get over 800 starts when we get to the end of 2024. We've got about 602 closings through the first 3 quarters of 24. Again, I suspect we'll close close to 200 in the 4th quarter, putting us at about 800 homes in 2024. Now here's the big picture. The green shaded areas are your active subdivisions that we're tracking that do have new single-family construction. The yellow shaded areas are those futures that are either concept plans or future phases. We've got 17 actively building subdivisions. We've got 11 future subdivisions that are in various stages of planning. Of those futures, we've got groundwork underway on about 600 lots, and those are where you see the red outlines. The red outlines are those areas where the groundwork is underway. We delivered about 79 lots in the 3rd quarter. I suspect we will see a significant amount of new lots delivered in the 4th and in the 1st quarter. The developers really try to time the delivery of lots for the spring. Spring is when they really try to, sell, get those homes started, get those contracts in order so that they can time a summer finish. Summer is when a majority of families would like to move, so therefore they do try to make that a priority, is to get the lots ready and get those homes started in spring. I'll touch on some of the highlights here. Of course, Navarro Ranch is one of your most active. It's about 1,383 total lots, 178 vacant developed lots. They had 92 homes under construction during the 3rd quarter, but they do have a significant number of futures, 422 future lots. All the future lots have the groundwork underway. This is Lennar Homes, production builder. They're building about 150 to 180 homes per year. The yield right now is about 0.368. I will suspect that yield's going to go up pretty dramatically over the next couple of years as more of those homes get occupied and some of those families with younger children start to age up into elementary grade levels. Our satellite images from September, so you can see the activity that's taking place there in Navarro Ranch. And then just to the north there, we've got the Navarro Ranch, the Pastar section, which is 131 total lots, 34 vacant developed lots. That section has 29 homes under construction. And then to the north, we're tracking the Jarrow North unit, which is a future phase. It is in the New Braunfels ETJ. It's still in the planning process, so we'll get more details on that probably within the next couple of months. I suspect that lot count is probably going to go up a good bit once we see the final plans. Cordova Crossing is 224 lots, 48 vacant developed lots, 6 homes under construction. That yield is a closer yield to what we normally see, which is 0.573 students per home. And then to the south there, we've got Meadows of Mill Park, which is 378 lots, 54 vacant developed lots with 20 homes under construction. That student yield in that neighborhood is 0.364. Next, we're looking at the Cordova Trails, which is 231 lots, 132 vacant developed lots with 14 homes under construction. It's so new, it's got about 9 students, so we really didn't calculate a yield on that neighborhood, but I suspect it will start seeing more students over the next several months as they finish those homes that are under construction. To the right there, we've got Borman Farms, which is a future that is about 228 future lots. Don't have any groundwork underway there yet. And then to the south is Swenson Heights, 693 total lots with 208 vacant developed lots, 34 homes under construction. That yield is 0.332 students per home. We calculate the yields every year, so every year we get a student file of the district, geocode them to their addresses, calculate the number of students versus the number of occupied homes. So the yield literally is changing almost every week as we get more and more kids moving in and more homes finished. Next, we're looking at Water's Edge, which is 355 total lots, 70 vacant developed lots. They had 8 homes under construction, a yield of 0.215. Next door there, we've got 3 Oaks, which is 152 lots with 118 vacant developed lots, 11 homes under construction. It's so new. Also, we didn't calculate a yield on that neighborhood, wanted to give it more time to get more homes occupied. Across the road, we've got Lily Springs, which is 400 total lots with 84 vacant developed lots, 10 homes under construction. They've got about 169 occupied homes. The yield in Lily Springs is 0.538. Next door, we're tracking a future development, which is the Cordova Road Track, which represents about 560 future lots. Woodside Farms is 235 lots with 81 vacant developed lots, 21 homes under construction. This is yielding 0.823, probably the highest yielding of the neighborhoods that we're tracking. A majority of them will average anywhere between 0.3 to 0.8, but overall they tend to stay in the 0.5 to 0.6 range. Hannah Heights is 276 lots with 7 homes under construction. It's yielding 0.411. And then Navarro Fields is 393 total lots. It's really just getting started. 61 vacant developed lots with 31 homes in inventory. That was the big picture on the single family. On the multifamily, big picture is, this is a bar graph representing the occupancy rates for the multifamily across the San Antonio region. And we're seeing this kind of a graph for all of the major regions in Texas. We've had a huge buildup of multifamily over the last 3 years. And so the reason the occupancy rates are dropping so much is because they're building so much multifamily. And it's a really good time to be a renter. If you are a renter, because there's more options, they're a little more competitive on the rent rates, they're offering concessions. In fact, 44% of the apartments in San Antonio are offering concessions. That means they're offering a discount on the first month, offering some discounts on deposits to lure those renters in. So it's a very competitive season for multifamily, and we're still seeing multifamily construction continue at a very strong pace. So I don't see these occupancy rates changing anytime soon. I set that up to talk about the multifamily that's taking place in Navarro. We've got about 500 multifamily units under construction. Those are the purple shaded areas. And we've got an additional 890 future multifamily units that are in the planning stages. I'll touch on those that are under construction. We've got the Seguin Multifamily East, which is 200 units. You've got the satellite image from this summer. We anticipate they'll be leasing those either late spring, summer, should be leasing apartments there. And then just across the street there, we've got the west section, which represents about 225 future units. We haven't seen any activity on that. They're probably gonna wait until they get those multifamily east done before they start on the west section. To the south there, we've got the Caldwell Seguin, which is 300 units currently leasing. So they are leasing the first units. Completion estimated mid-2025 to get all those leased. So they tend to start leasing in sections. as they get those first 2 to 3 units finished, then they'll get the next units finished and just lease as they work through the total construction. We do look at the birth rates. Now, because you're such a young district, the birth rates are a leading indicator. What I want to point out on this ratio is, when you look back historically, your ratio of births to kindergarten students was below 0.2. You can see how it was back between 29 through 2014. It was in that 0.17 to 0.19, and you'll notice that ratio has gone up. And this year, that ratio is 0.314. We are accelerating that ratio slightly over the next 4 years, but you'll also notice the district number of births is increasing. So about 640 next year, and in 3 to 4 years, it'll be up to 785. So I do suspect your elementary grade levels are going to continue to grow at a pretty strong clip because of what we're seeing with birth rate data and the sheer number of new homes that are being built. We also take the student data and we compare it to the previous year. And what we're looking for is new student IDs versus student IDs that are missing. So the purple bar represents the new student IDs compared to the previous year. The turquoise bar represents the student IDs that are missing, which are leavers. They've left the district. Leavers, a majority of leavers are simply families that have physically moved out of the district. So that number is going to go up each year likely because you've just got so much more population. As the total population grows, there will be just that normal mobility from families that move to take on different jobs in different areas. So, but we do want to watch that very closely because we can see charters do have a big impact. Neighboring districts changing of transfer policies. We're seeing more and more competition from school districts just opening up boundaries and transferring in more students. We're in a new era of enrollment patterns in Texas. When I say a new era, I think it's likely we're going to see a voucher or some form of that in this next session. And we fought it off very well in the previous session, but it's likely going to happen this session because of the election. So we need to be prepared and we need to be thinking about how does the models change. We are going to introduce in the spring a multi-forecast model. Now we need to see what's going to happen in the legislative session so we understand a little bit better about what that's going to look like. But I think going forward, we're advising our clients to your facility planning still needs to cover that 5 and 10 year period, but it also needs to have some flexibility based on things that can change rather quickly. Charter schools are very difficult to track. They shouldn't be. I'm hopeful that in this next legislative session, we can get more details when charters are approved, because when TEA announces these charters, they don't give you an address, they give you a county or a region. And it's up to us, my team, has to track that down typically through the city's permitting process, just like we do with developments. So we're hunting for a permit that they're trying to get approved from the city. And so we really should have more cooperation, I believe, from TEA on these charter approvals and the announcement and expansions there. So I set this up by looking at the newcomer leavers. This is a good pattern, but it is not a direct correlation to your enrollment change because it's not apples to apples. Because this does not count kindergartners as newcomers. They're all newcomers. So we really only are looking at the new student IDs that are in the 1st through 12th grade compared to last year's kindergarten through 11th grade. The same thing on leavers. We don't count seniors as leavers. So that's what makes it not quite apples to apples, to where you really can't look at this and go, well, why did the enrollment growth grow so much more than this newcomer leaver change? Setting that up, here's a look at the grade level projections. Again, you'll notice it's pretty comparable to what you had this year. So you grew about 259 students this fall. Next year we're forecasting about 271. But you'll notice it stays in that less than 300 students for the next 4 years. I have come at this forecast this time around with a little bit more conservativeness. I've become a little more conservative based on, a lot of times it has to do with the mood of what I'm seeing with all of our work. And we work with about 80 school districts across Texas. A majority of them are fast growth school districts, and a majority of them's enrollment came in soft, a little low. And it was primarily low, similar to yours, but yours really wasn't low much. Your elementary numbers were really pretty spot on, just a slight softening there, but a majority of our class were low at the elementary grade levels. So I'm being a little cautious here, but we do look at these twice a year. So the key thing for me is, does that housing stay at 800? Now what if it gets to 1,000? If I see the housing gets to 1,000 per year, then I'm gonna raise the forecast. I'm gonna move that in the spring based on what we see in the first quarter of housing data. But again, it's a little softer than what we presented last year. I think last year, this forecast in 10 years may be, 600 to 700 students less. I don't know that it changes your facility plans in the next 5 years. You still have a lot to do. And so the new elementary, the expansions to your junior high, the new high school, this doesn't change any of the pressure there that's gonna be needed. Now, here's a look at the forecast by campus with your current grade configuration. And as we sat and listened to the construction report, as I sat and listened, I will do an update to this table that builds in your new campus and your expansions to your junior high and your new high school capacity. So I can give you a rough estimate of what that would look like. I won't be able to dial it in exactly because there's going to need to be an attendance zone discussion to help me guide that number. And so I don't want to be too premature on that until we actually go through the process of doing those attendance zones. But I can give you a concept that shows you big picture. Here's what will happen when we bring on that new elementary school in 2027. Here's what it does to your junior high and your high school enrollment numbers. So really, you almost need to discard the yellow cells for Navarro Elementary and the intermediate, because in 2027, those are going to go away because of the new campus. It'll just be how do we distribute that based on how we configure the attendance zones. So key takeaways, new home starts and closings did see a slight decrease, but it wasn't anything that I would categorize as alarming. The district has nearly 500 homes currently in inventory. About 1,200 additional lots are available to build on. Groundwork is underway on more than 600 lots in 3 different subdivisions. We think you're going to be at about 4,100 students in 5 years and almost 5,500 students in 10 years. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I would just say, Bob, thank you so much for clarifying that, I know in our last bond, we talked about that 10 years being that 6,000, and so explaining just that more conservative approach in this latest update, based on kind of statewide, softer figures. But to your point, it's not that far off as we look to plan, and of course, we are getting these demographic reports twice a year, from them, because we want to be able to stay on top of that, and if we do see a shift, we want to be very fiscally responsible as to what we put out there and prepare. And then to your point, that attendance zone conversation will be coming up as we move into this next year. And I think as he shows you those developments coming in and where they are popping on the map, you see why that decision to have that Navarro Elementary South open in that area to address that fast growth there. But as you also see with the Navarro Ranch and the Yarrow North, and as I come in every morning and see that develop, that North Elementary School won't be far behind.
Yes. We do anywhere from 10 to 15 attendance zone projects each year, and I'm excited to do this one.
Me too.
I don't get excited very often, but about attendance zone projects. This one really won't be that bad.
No.
Because you're just going from 1 to 2. So when attendance zone projects are very painful is when you have to move cascade kids and you backfill and have to move them into, so because you're still have such a small number of schools, everybody's gonna be pretty excited to go to the new school. And so therefore, it's really gonna be just how do we carve between the two?
Right.
So your challenges will be, how do we deal with grandfathers, transfers, how do we deal with, the transfer picture? Because that will still be an issue. There'll be those families that want their older grade level kids to stay
Right.
at those campuses. Now, wait a second, we're not going to 3, now that I'm thinking through this, are we going to 3 zones?
We will eventually, but right now
Yeah.
it's just 2 elementaries.
Okay, may have jumped the gun on that.
Yeah.
But because you've got, an elementary, intermediate, and then we're gonna be introducing, but I think, my memory is you're gonna have a primary
Right.
with 2.
Right, so
Okay.
we'll move to just that pre-K to 1 as the early childhood, and then you'll have 2 to 5
Yeah,
elementaries.
so I'm still excited.
Yes, well, good, I didn't want to dampen that excitement, because we are looking forward to that. And for those folks listening at home, that process will be transparent, and people will be able to be part of that committee and have the conversations, because we know for any community, but especially here, where this will be new, and your family may have always gone to this school, that adjustment may be something that people are very concerned about. So we'll be having those conversations. I also wanted to just mention the climate piece about what school districts look like and the zoning based on yes, the unfortunate and probably inevitable voucher system, where we're looking at people being able to take those dollars where they want to go, but also the charter system. So we know that we are in a good place fiscally, but as we look at our neighboring districts who are having committees about, if we don't get additional funds from the state, what programs are we cutting? We have a neighboring school district that's looking at a $26 million plus deficit, and they had a committee get together and create tiers of what they would cut if they don't get additional funding. Some of those things are the programs, the very programs we are developing here. So I anticipate if those cuts do go through, we will have families asking if they can come here. And right now, our policy is no transfer. You must live here to go here. But I do anticipate that pressure coming if those surrounding districts who cannot keep their programs running, like middle school athletics, robotics, esports, the things we are developing and investing in, we will be getting those requests to come here. So, things on the horizon as we see what happens with the legislative session and how that funding develops, and we'll definitely be having further conversations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Moving back to the top of the list for reports, we got campus activity reports. Do you have any questions on those? Oh, hold off for a minute, Dan. Dan's gotta go.
We just say he left at 8:10, and I'll put back when he came back.
Do we just wanna wait for
Do we
him?
have any
Keep going.
questions? Are we good?
Dan went to the restroom, that's why.
Oh.
I didn't know if we wanted to just wait for him or not.
We can take a slight break. Does anyone else need to go?
It won't take very long.
So you can all look at Dan when he's back.
It's not awesome or
Everyone
anything.
gets back.
Just a little reminder, since we do have 2 new board members, our microphones do work, but they work best when you get them close to your mouth and you speak nice and loud. So we do get folks at home that listen who say,
Mine works really good, because I can hear everything I drop the pin.
I know.
So how do I turn the thing off?
You hit the button right
I
there.
did, it did not turn off.
Hold it down, let's see. All right, perfect. But we do get sometimes some concerns that they miss what someone says and that our microphones don't work. They do work, you just have to get them close to your mic.
Stare at him when he comes back.
I know.
I will start with superintendent's report, and we'll focus on enrollment first. Of course, you just got the big picture of enrollment, but I'm updating you based on today's numbers and our campus enrollment. So you see an increase of our elementary students as Mr. Templeton was discussing. We were a little softer on our numbers, but we know peak is not at the start of the year. So we are seeing those kids coming in, and so we gained 12 students, and we are, as of Friday, 726 students at the elementary. At the intermediate, 672, which is just one student down. Junior high, we're down 3 to 605, and then high school down 4. So we are still maintaining the range with 94.85% of what we budget, so that we are on track with our attendance rate. For those of you who do not know, we are funded not on enrollment numbers, but on how many kids actually show up. Again, we staff on enrollment because we have to prepare as we get these numbers from Bob, and he says, this is how many kids are coming. You've got to be proactive and have those educators there for them, the support staff there for them. But if they ultimately don't show up, you know, the issue is we're not getting that money, and we've staffed on that enrollment number. So it is one of the things that you will hear people talk about as we head into legislative session. We would love for them to fund us on enrollment, not attendance solely. The next thing I will be sharing with you is our calendar of events. So again, you can always visit our website, and we certainly encourage our families and community members to come check it out. We have made it a priority to have outreach for our families and our community members. And so there's several activities where our students are engaging, and we are engaging with parents. You can see here in November, I started today over at Piper High School. The Texas Dance Educational Association is piloting a UIL dance team competition, and our Dazzlers participated in that this morning, where they had 4 judges assess their performance on the field. This is a long time coming. The dance teachers have really wanted to have that kind of UIL assessment the way that band does. And so this was an exciting day, and see that pilot happening, and certainly exciting to see dance teams from across the region, and ours right there front and center, so super awesome. Of course, tonight's board meeting, we have an ESL parent meeting, and then we'll have our Exceptional Athletes Bowling Day, one of my favorite things, just pure joy to watch folks bowling and having a great time. We have Substitute Appreciation Day, and then we have early release on Friday for our break into Thanksgiving, always something we're looking forward to, and certainly a huge help to us as we head to our playoff game versus Cuero. I know that many of our community members have been concerned that as we travel to away games, it's been difficult to get everyone there on time because of the reduction in drivers across the state. We certainly are doing our best to onboard new folks. We've shifted some strategy. One of the strategies we have now is that you do not have to be a driver for all times. If you can drive just in the afternoon, we're not considering you, or just in the morning, we're now considering you. We did onboard someone today who is fully certified, and so she'll be doing the dry runs, and that will allow us to bring back another route. Certainly we're waiting for those drivers to come back before we can pick up folks and take them to a game, and that's again a statewide issue. I saw this weekend Victoria's superintendent posting a letter to families saying we just don't have the drivers. I think all of us are very grateful that most of us have early release this Friday, so those of us in playoffs are going to be able to get everyone there. So my solution to that is, if you can drive, if you're considering driving, please come, even if it's just for these events. Ms. Johnson and I spoke today about a strategy that we are going to put together, kind of a summer bus camp. And if you are a band parent and you know you're going to every game, you're going to every band competition, you're gonna be there all day anyway, we're gonna invest in you to get that CDL and help us get those kids there. Also training additional staff that, you know, may want to participate in that, a teacher that wants to get a CDL. But we're just looking at a variety of strategies to really be able to get our kids where they need to be and get there on time. So December, we go straight into Special Education Day and our FFA Christmas party, our junior high holiday bingo. We have end of course exams for Algebra 1 and English 2, and then our fall athletic sports banquet. We're super excited about the ASL winter performance. For those of you who were able to come to our Veterans Day celebration, you saw our ASL students who were able to sign the national anthem. What I love about it is they were doing all of that to prepare for that ceremony, but when you see them at games now, they're doing it in the stands individually or as a group of a couple of kids, and that program has really thrived, having a live and in-person educator who's done an amazing job, and she has created a winter performance for those students. So excited to see them. The theater has a parents' night out, as well as there's some region music auditions, and of course Academic UIL is continuing to have their tournaments. We will be back again with our bond oversight and facilities planning committee in December on the 11th. We'll be going over this new demographic information. We'll be updating folks on the design work that's happening with the bond projects. And then the junior high student council is having a family movie night. Our district will have its fine arts showcase. And then our new initiative, Panther Shake, will happen with their semifinals. And we know several of you will be judges as we go into that process. We're excited for them to share what they learned, how to shake hands, look people in the eye, and hold a conversation on their own for 2 minutes with another person. And it's those soft skills we know are so important. So we'll again be back for our board meeting in December, and then the second grade music performances, secondary early release, and then the reindeer run. I do want to point out that this is my favorite time of year as far as performances. If you are looking for some holiday cheer, come on out to any of our campuses when they are, you know, sharing their performances. The kids do an amazing job, and I know they're excited to share what they've learned over the course of this semester. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you. Moving on to the district financial reports. Anybody have any questions? Nope. Okay, now moving to the consent agenda. Anybody have any questions on any of the items on the consent agenda?
There are a couple things that all I can see is online since I'm not getting all my stuff. But I think a couple of those were already cleared up, like one of them had security and fencing down at the bottom of it, but it's like an old something. So that's not really.
Yes, and we apologize for that. It's
Okay.
a copy and paste error, and
Okay.
Paul went ahead and corrected that, so it should be corrected and loaded in there now.
And in the HVAC contract, I saw TDI, good firm, but I didn't see, but like on the portable one, I saw that only one company submitted on the portables. Was TDI the only one that submitted on the HVAC too?
No, that was a bid that occurred a couple of years ago, and it's a continuing process with them.
Okay.
It's a continuation. On the classroom portables, why we only got one bid, we put it on buy board,
Sure.
where there are several vendors, and that are the only one.
I get that, I just was worried, that notation wasn't on the
I-
TDI piece, so that's why I was just processing.
Yeah, that was from a
Makes sense.
previous year's bid.
No other questions? I hear a motion.
I make a motion that the board accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Don and Gillum made a motion to approve. Dan Reinhardt second. All those in favor? Motion passes 6-0. Moving on to action items. Being being asked to cast votes for Guadalupe Appraisal District Board of Directors. I know we made a motion to, put Jim Levens on there. I don't know if anybody has any, thing they wanna say, or do we wanna put all our votes to Jim, or how do we have 273 votes at our disposal. We can split them up any way, we can give them all to one person. It's our choice. We just need to decide how we wanna do it.
What's happened in the past?
Usually the person we nominate, we've given it to that person. That's normally what we've done. I know I think we had talked before maybe about Darren and Jim or something like that, but Darren's no longer on there, it's just Jim. So I'll entertain any motions that anybody wants to make.
I would say you have a minimal amount of votes, so.
Right, we're very small in comparison to,
Yeah, I saw that with like, Marion has 2 nominees on there from the Marion ISD. Seguin has their ISD in Seguin, City of Seguin. So I don't know how are the votes figured, you know?
So we can submit nominations, as many as we'd like, but when we come to the vote, you're allotted by your contribution into the system and your size into the system.
population.
Yeah, so you have a very, we have a very small.
By population or
voting.
by taxable value?
It's based on tax
Tax,
levy.
yes.
Tax.
Tax levy for those at home that didn't hear, I'll say that.
I'll entertain a motion if anybody wants to make a motion.
I move to cast 273 votes to Jim Leland for the Board of Directors of Guadalupe County, Guadalupe Appraisal District by resolution and submit results of that vote to the Chief Appraiser of the Guadalupe Appraisal District within 3 days of the adoption of this resolution.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Dan Reinhardt, a second by Lacey Gosh. Any more questions? All those in favor? Motion passes 6-0. With that, at 8:25, we'll go into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, to discuss the duties of the superintendent. Pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, to discuss the employment and resignations of professional personnel to include CC Director, teachers, and other professionals. Pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551.072, to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Any related action will be taken in open
I make a motion that the board approve the recommendation of the CTE director.
Second.
I have a motion by Donna Gillum, a second by Dan Reinhardt. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion passes 6-0. No other motions. We are adjourned at 9:43.
Thank you for carrying that torch.
Oh, can I make a request?
Sure.
So there's a reason this is in the order.